Pulling up my 6. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Epic Empire Wednesday night team call. I'm super pumped to be on this call with y'all. What was that? Somebody had their volume up or something. I like hearing my voice and everything, but that was crazy. But thank you so much for spending your Wednesday night with us. I know that you guys have a million things to be doing, and you're taking the time to pour into yourself, into your business, and I will promise you, you will benefit from this. We have an amazing guest speaker tonight, but first, let me go over some recognitions and announcements. We have our Success Club document in Epic Empire. If you're a new coach, that is where we keep track of our Success Club numbers. You are your own business owner, so you put your numbers on there, and I give out recognition based on the numbers that you put in there. So far for the month of July, we have a lot of coaches on the board and some coaches in Success Club. We're getting kind of close to the end of the month. So this is kind of, I know everybody's kind of holding off because we have so many people that want Country Heat and it's not out yet. So some people might swing in there at the end of the month and hit Success Club and then really kill August. August is going to be phenomenal. But Lindsay Harris, 2 points. Rebecca Schaefer, 2 points. Paige Connor, 1 coach, 2 points. Jody Allred, 1 point. Kathy Cho, 2 points. Lauren Teets, 1 coach, 2 points. Erin Cabral, this is a new name, 2 points. Angel Dial, 4 points. Melina Etheridge, 2 coaches, 4 points. Katie Burke, 2 points. Heather Clatterbuck, 4 points. Dina Wells, 4 points. Sue Young Sellers at 1 coach, 4 points. Jennifer Combs, 4 points. Claire Corbin, 2 points. Now in Success Club 5, we have Erin McMillan at 2 coaches and 6 points. Annette at 5 points. Amanda Williams at 2 coaches and 6 points. Kelly Slaughter, 6 points. Marlena Jurek, I think I'm saying your last name right, at 2 coaches and 8 points. Leland Brown, 3 coaches and 6 points. Megan Jackson, 8 points. And as they said on the call, Afrin Rio. They said her name wrong. That was so funny. Afton Rio. She's not a nasal spray. 4 coaches and 8 points. And then in Success Club 10, we have Carla Perry, 2 coaches and 10 points. Ren Young, 10 points. And Crystal White, 7 coaches and 15 points. Now, if you are tuning in from Knockout Kings or any of the other hybrid teams that we have, if I'm not shouting out your name, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because you guys have your own Success Club document. So these are people from just, I guess, Epic Empire, my personally sponsored and downline. All right, that is our recognition. We have an amazing Country Heat Challenge group sneak peek going on that is mind-blowing. Y'all, we're at like 800 and something people in there that want Country Heat. These are not people that are just like, maybe. These are people that 850. Over 850 that want Country Heat, like the day it's released. So this is going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. We have Summit coming up. We're going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. I think there's 51 of us going, and it's going to be super, super fun. You guys stay tuned because you can watch live stream all of the different festivities and things that we're doing. And then, of course, the speakers are going to be phenomenal. So please make sure you tune into the YouTube live to be able to watch Summit and benefit from that. All right, let me pull up this crazy man's credentials because I'm going to have to read it because it's super long and he's amazing. I want to introduce a guest speaker. I hope you guys can put away Facebook, put down your phones, shut down anything. You're here. Might as well spend your time wisely and not be distracted, right? So try not to be distracted and let's focus for like 30 minutes of our life to pour into ourselves and our business. But I have this awesome guy on here because I watched one of his videos. I don't know if it was in a leadership group or what, but I was watching his video and he was talking and I was like, dude, that guy just nailed it. Like, I need him on my team call. So I reached out to him and I begged him. I'm like, please, I know I'm just a little Peabody, but please leave me. I was just kidding. Asked him to be on my team call. Now, here's some of his stats. I'm going to be reading, so hopefully I don't botch this. 2015, number 3 Beachbody male coach. Do we have any male coaches on the call? We got Brent. We got Jason Delancey. We're dominating female team, but we got some rock star guys on our team as well. So I'm excited to have a male's perspective on here. 3-time elite coach. He has 42 consecutive months in Success Club. That means he has not dropped 42 months out of Success Club. Executive leader. I'm not there yet. I'm an organizational leader, so this guy is rocking it. Executive leader. 6-star in First Business Center, 3-star in Second Business Center, and 1-star in his Third Business Center. 3,000 plus coaches on Team Boom. How awesome is that team? Team Boom. Like at the end of this call, they were like, boom, that's their thing. I thought it was really cute. 60 plus diamonds. Cry. Multiple six-figure business earners on his team. Okay, so he is obviously able to not only sign coaches, but teach them how to grow their businesses and become their own successful business owners. So Patrick, we're super pumped to have you on a call. We're going to give you the floor, and then we will open up for questions at the end. So if you guys have questions, either post it in the chat or write it down, and you can ask openly.
All right, I got it. Cool. So where's everybody from? Is this like kind of a team that's spread out all over U.S. and Canada, or is it like kind of got one pocket in a certain part of the U.S.?
No, we're all over. I'm based in Virginia, D.C. area, so we have a pretty large team here, but we also have Kansas and Kentucky, and I'm like looking around all South Carolina. They're all over the place.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. So when I'm talking to a new coach or a veteran coach, there's two things I always talk to them about. The first is the mindset you have to be successful with this business. The second is the skills you have to develop to be successful with the business. In my opinion, it comes down to 80% mindset. I don't care how great you are at the skills. If you don't have the right mindset and the understanding of how this business works, as far as the long-term mindset, it's just not, you're not going to stick around long enough for it to pay off. So I always start with the mindset first. So when someone comes to me and they're like, okay, Pat, cut the bull. I want to hear it straight. What do I got to do to build a six-figure income business? Or what do I got to do to build a business that's going to impact a lot of lives? And it doesn't matter which one of those questions they ask me. I always answer the same way. I say it's simple. It's going to come down to one thing. Can you develop 2 or 3 good leaders? 2 or 3 leaders. That's really all it's going to take. So that's where I start. And then the thing is, those 2 or 3 leaders that you want on your team, they're usually pretty smart people. They're people that are going to sit back and watch and let you prove to them that this thing is real and that you're serious about it. And the only way you can prove that to them is by showing up every single day, being consistent with your own journey and sharing that journey on social media every day. That's how you prove to these people, those leaders, those really good leaders you want on your team, those 2 or 3 rock stars, they're going to help you build a team that's going to help way more than you can on your own and create that six-figure income. They're going to be the people that need to watch you for a year before they get on board a lot of times. Just kind of how it works, unfortunately. But what happens is, what I see most coaches do is they get in, and maybe you can relate to this. I totally did this. I got into the business 3 or 4 months in. I'm like, okay, this thing's going all right. I'm not getting as many yeses as I thought. Like Billy Bob over here, I thought he was going to be my rock star, and he said no. And now I'm starting to kind of doubt this whole thing. And what did I stop doing after 3 or 4 months in, and I started losing that momentum? I stopped my own journey. I stopped doing my own workouts, my own nutrition. I stopped sharing on social media. Meanwhile, there was tons of people that had been watching me at the time, and they saw me stop. Has anyone ever, are any visual learners on the call? Cool, I'm a visual learner. All right, good, we got a good group. So, any of you guys try to run up an escalator that's going down? Like when I was a kid, I used to do this, and my mom would get pissed. She'd yell at me, but I did it anyway because it was just fun. I try to run up this escalator that's going down. It's very similar to this business. You start to run up this escalator, and you run at full speed. You're so excited. You're in this new business, and you're inviting like crazy. You're sharing on social media. You're getting no's, but you're still running kind of fast because you're still excited. But then it gets a little bit kind of tiring at times. And then you get like kind of halfway up that escalator and you're still kind of trudging and you're not going as fast as you want because, again, you're going uphill against the traffic and people need to watch you for a while before they say yes. But what do? You get discouraged. I know I did this. I got discouraged. I stopped inviting. I stopped following up. I stopped sharing on social media. And what happens when you stop running up an escalator that's going down? When you come back after the break, do you start where you left off? You go all the way back to the bottom. And all those people that were watching you, all those seeds you planted, they saw you stop. And you've lost that credibility. And now you got to get it all over again. You got to get back on this escalator and start sharing your journey again, planting your seeds, inviting, following up. I did this to myself. I've been a coach for 8 years. Crazy, right? Went by like that. The first 4 years of being a coach, I had very, very little success. The last 4 years, much better, right? I didn't really change so much about what I was doing each day. I just changed how often I did it from the first 4 to the last 4. The first 4, I would get on the escalator and I'd be excited because maybe I went to an event or maybe I got on a team call that really fired me up or listened to a national call. And I'm like, all right, I'm doing it this time. I'm really doing it this time. I'd get on that escalator. I'd start sharing my journey. I'd start inviting. I'd start following up. I'd start posting. And I'd be running full speed. And then life got in the way. Whatever reason, life got in the way. And maybe that excitement, that initial excitement kind of wore off. I wasn't getting the yeses as fast as I wanted because I didn't understand they needed to watch me for probably 6 months to a year before they would really say yes. I didn't understand that no just meant not yet. I didn't get that. So I'd get discouraged and I'd stop. And I'd go all the way back to the bottom. And all these people were watching me. And I did this to myself over and over for 4 years, up and down this escalator. Meanwhile, I'd see some coaches that signed up after me get on the escalator, do the exact same things that I was doing, that you guys are all doing. So I just listened to Jatana on our call. I mean, if you're following what she's doing, you're going to kill it. You know, I wasn't doing anything different really. I just wasn't staying consistent with it. So I saw these coaches get on the escalator after I had started. But the difference was they just kept plugging along. And maybe that first year they didn't sign a ton of coaches and they didn't have a ton of success and they didn't get to diamond, but they didn't stop. And all these people that were watching them saw them not stop and said, okay, now I can trust this person. This person is serious about this and this is a real opportunity. Otherwise, they wouldn't still be doing it after a full year. I saw this happen over and over. They'd get to the top of this escalator because they put in that effort for a year, and then they'd get their leaders, and then they'd be at the top on flat ground running full speed, and their businesses would explode. I finally got to a point where I was working full-time at my accounting job in Boston. I'm a CPA. And, you know, I'm kind of doing this little side hobby thing, getting on the escalator here and there when I was excited and then falling back down when I would, you know, life would get crazy or whatever. And I had a moment where I got yelled at by my boss for something so stupid, something so silly. And I remember on the ride home being pissed and thinking, I'm done working for other people. I really am. Like, I know what the potential of this Beachbody thing is. I know this is the opportunity that's going to allow me to be my own boss. I know it. All I got to do is just get back on this escalator and do what I was doing before, but do it every day for a year to prove to people that I'm serious about this and that this thing's real. And I got back on that escalator with not a mindset of, I hope this works. I hope I found a few people that join me on this ride. I got on that escalator with a mindset of, I'm not getting off this freaking thing until I get to the top. I don't care if it takes me 5 years. I'm going to find 2 or 3 good people that want to do this with me. It's inevitable. It wasn't like I hope, I believe, like I knew it. I just knew it. So I got back on that escalator that last time 4 years ago, and I just did not stop with that new mindset of, I'm not stopping. And if you want to be a part of it, great. If you don't, great. You know, and people started to see that and they were like, wow, this kid's not stopping. So I can either join him and have success, or I can not join him and get left behind and watch him from the bottom of the escalator. That shift in mindset was huge. And I think people started to take notice of the mindset and then really take notice of the fact that I hadn't given up and I was consistent for 6 months and a year. And after that full year of consistency, that's when people started getting on board with me. And I started having a ton of success in that second year. But I had to lay the foundation in the first year. And I think that's where a lot of coaches, they don't understand that. During that first year, there's so many people that are watching. They're not going to like anything you post. They're not going to comment on anything you post, but they are watching. Trust me. And you're going to find that out if you stay consistent for a year, because they're going to come around at the beginning of that second year, and you're going to be like, whoa, where'd you come from? Like, I never saw you comment or like anything I posted, and now you want to do a challenge group and you want to be a coach? Just how it works. They're watching. You got to plant those seeds and understand you have to water those seeds for that full 6 months to a year before it actually grows. So that's kind of where I go on the mindset stuff. My next question is always like, why do some coaches stay consistent for a full year, even when things aren't growing as fast as they want? And some, they're not willing to do that. And it comes down to two things: why and belief. So when I'm talking to a coach about their why, the first thing I have them do is pull out a sheet of paper and we create a why list. And I have them write down, everything that it would be considered a why, a reason for doing this business. From the big stuff of financial freedom and what that would look like. Exactly. Like if you had financial freedom, that's great. But like exactly what would that look like for you? What would you do the first thing when you woke up in the morning? Like, would you have your cup of coffee? Like, what would you put in your coffee? Where would you sit? What would you be reading? What kind of view would you have? What would your kids be doing? Like, that's part of the why list. And then we go from the big kind of down to the smaller stuff, like being able to pay for your current mortgage right now, maybe paying for a cell phone bill, paying for Shakeology. I had a coach say, cracks me up. She said she wants to be able to afford the softer, extra Charmin toilet paper. And I was like, perfect. Add that shit to the list. That's great. So we're constantly adding things to this why list. And when I try to get them in the mindset of when they see someone doing something cool, whether it's a friend or a family member or whatever it is, instead of saying, oh, that's so cool, they can do that, I wish I could do that, I have them start to shift that and say, that's so cool, I can't do that yet, but I'm going to add it to my why list, and that's going to fuel me to be able to eventually be able to do that. So it's not oh, that would be cool. It's going to happen. It's part of my why list. It's going to be my why fuel, right? So that's the list we're building. And then I have them add some blank space at the bottom of their why list, because they're constantly going to be adding new stuff to it. So whether it's a vision board or a why list, I think that's so powerful to have that right in front of you and leave some blank space to always be adding new stuff to it. So that's the first thing, kind of the why. The last thing I'll say about that why before I talk about belief, I actually asked John Maxwell, I went to that thing with Tracy Morrow and we all got to ask a question. And I said, John, is it okay to tell our coaches that part of their why should be financial? And he was like, absolutely. He's like, it has to be. You have to have two parts to your why. Part of your why is you have to have a genuine love for helping other people. If you don't have that, this business probably won't work for you. So that's part of your why, that genuine love for making an impact in other people's lives. But you also have to have part of your why that's personal to you and your future and your family and your family's future. You just have to. To help people. So why did you start a business? And that's partly what I'm helping my coaches determine on that why list, and making sure that not only is it okay to talk about things that are personal to them and their family and their family's future, that it's vital, that it has to be part of your why, because you're going to have days that you do not want to get on that escalator. You're going to have days you don't want to stay on that escalator and do all the vital behaviors. And helping people, if you just want to help people and you have a genuine love for helping people, if you're tired, you're not going to help other people. You're tired, but if you have something that's tied to your family's future, that's going to get you to show up on the days you don't feel like showing up. And it's going to get you to put in time and make time on the days you don't have time. Cool? So that's the why. That's the why list. The second thing is the belief. So you can have, this great, this huge why list, this huge vision board, and, all these pictures and stuff. And I think that's great. But if you don't really believe that these little things we're telling you to do every day are actually going to get you to everything on that why list, you're probably not going to stay on that escalator for that full year. right? So I try to help coaches with the belief that, hey, these things I'm telling you to do every day, I'm not just telling you to do them every day just because. I'm telling you because these are what are going to get you everything on that why list. And the way I help them with that belief is I reverse engineer it. So we already talked about the big picture. How do you knock off every single thing on your why list? It comes down to one thing. I said at the very beginning of the call. Finding and developing 2 or 3 really good leaders that want to do this with you. 2 or 3 people that are all in, that love the products as much as you, that believe in the experience we give people in our challenge groups as much as you, then have that long-term mindset as much as you. Those 2 or 3 leaders is what's going to knock. If you can find those and develop those two leaders, you're going to be helping so many more people than you can on your own. And there's always a direct correlation between how many people your team's helping and what Beachbody pays you. So if you can find and develop those 2 leaders, which was always in my mind, even when I was struggling, I always knew I could do that. Then I knew if once I did that, everything on my why list, I was going to be at a crush. That's how it works. So again, how do you find those 2 or 3 rock star leaders? Where are they going to be coming from? Something you guys probably talk a lot about on these calls. They're going to come from your challenge groups. They are, because they're going to be people that believe in the products, and they're going to be people that believe in what we do as coaches. They're going to see how vital that support is for their challengers and how important it was for them when they were a challenger. So they're going to be coming out of your challenge groups. And then how do you get people into your challenge groups? For me, that's going to come from that being on that escalator for a full year, letting people watch you for a full year, and then they get into your challenge groups. Sometimes you're going to have people that jump in sooner. A lot of time, I would say I'm just like you guys. I do 1 challenge group a month. It's 21-day fix or 21-day fix extreme. That's 99% of the challenge packs I sell. That's what it is. But yeah, so that's my focus in the challenge groups and giving my people the best experience possible, because I know if the better the experience I give them, the more likely they're going to want to give that experience to other people. The more likely they're going to become a coach. And the better the experience you give your people, the better the experience they're going to give their people when they become a coach. So the better coach they're going to become. So as far as how do you get people into your challenge groups, we talked about that. That's going to be coming from just being on the escalator every day. 90% of the people that join my challenge groups are people that had been watching me for over a year before they finally said yes. There are people that said no to my challenge groups 2 or 3 times. And then a year after our initial connection, they were ready because they had been watching me for a full year. So that's the mindset stuff that I'm always talking to my coaches about. I can teach them how to invite and how to share on social media and how to connect with new people and how to run a kick-ass challenge group with this amazing experience and how to introduce your challengers to the coaching opportunity. But if they don't understand that they have to be on that escalator for a year and allow people to watch them for that full year so they can gain that credibility, then all that other stuff, which is great, doesn't really matter though. So I spend, that huge chunk of time up front making sure they understand this is a long-term game. It's a long-term game. Cool. That's the mindset stuff.
No, I love it. That escalator analogy is everything. I think that's what we miss so much. And I can look at faces on this call and I can see them on the escalator literally going.
Yeah, how many people feel like they've been on an escalator for a while, up and down on this thing? it's I was the same way. I did it for 4 years, so I know how it feels. So.
Yeah. In my first year, I was an Emerald coach the whole year. So many people get wrapped up in where a person's at now. I was an Emerald coach for a year. That's not, I give props to Afton and Rebecca and all these people that can go diamond like this, but I was an Emerald for a year. So don't discount yourself just because you're having a hard time getting that traction. Sometimes you're just building your credibility.
Yeah, I hit diamonds, I think a year and a half into the business, probably closer to 2 years is when I finally hit diamond. Because I would get coaches, and you guys probably have some coaches that join your team, you get on that escalator for 2 months at a time, and then a few people take notice, and then you got these coaches, right? Which is what happened to me. And then I would stop for whatever reason, like there's so many different excuses and things that happen in life that would cause me to just stop showing up on social media, and stop posting in my coach groups and whatever it was. And I'm on this escalator halfway up, and I got a couple, two or three coaches that joined me at this point. And then I stop, and they're like, dude, like they see me going back down the escalator. They're like, dude, where are you going? Like, why are we staying on this escalator if he's not? He's the one that got us on this freaking escalator. So then they would stop and go all the way back down the escalator too. So then I had to start all over again with the few coaches that wanted to start over again. And a lot of times they were like, I already tried it that one time. It didn't work, So I've been there. I know what it's like to be on that escalator.
I kind of feel bad for my new coaches my coaches that signed on in the very beginning.
Yeah.
I kind of reached out to the ones that like dropped off, and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was doing. That was really bad.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I felt bad too. But you learn, You really do.
Is there, I know you're really big into John Maxwell, and so I adore him. But is there anything when you feel like you're starting to slide back downward and you're losing that traction and excitement for the business? Where do you go? What do you do?
What do I do? I don't know. It kind of depends on like why I'm sliding down, why I'm feeling that way. For me, like my favorite book is The Slight Edge, which is very similar to The Compound Effect. I think it came out, when I read The Slight Edge, it was 2010, and it was before The Compound Effect came out. That was such a game changer for me. Talk about like escalator. I always, in my coach group, I'm always saying hashtag escalator mindset, right? But once I read that book, The Slight Edge, or my whole definition of what success was changed. Like it went from, okay, success is this thing that you have to be super talented or, grew up in the right family or had the right education or were given the right things or had the right network. And then I read The Slight Edge and I realized success isn't this heroic thing. It's just these little tiny things, these little unsexy, mundane little tasks just done every day over a period of time. And they add up. It's that slight edge, that compound effect, being on that escalator for a year, and then you get to the top on flat ground and your business it blows up because of that momentum, that compound effect. So that's I go back to that book quite a bit. The Slight Edge. I love that one. I don't know. I think if I'm struggling, it really depends on like what I'm struggling with. Trying to think. I jump all over. Like right now I'm really on like Gary Vaynerchuk, which is, he's like this guy that's like hustle, hustle, hustle. And he's like dropping F-bombs left and right. But at the same time, he is very patient. Like someone said to him, I listened to a video, and this kid was like, hey, I've been building my business and I've been doing it every day and I'm not seeing the results. And Gary was like, oh, okay. Like how long you been working on it every day? And the guy was like, about 6 months. And Gary was like, he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, you want this to be the rest of your life and you're going to give up after 6 months? He's like 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021 are going to come and they're going to come and they're going to go. And you're still going to be playing the short game while I'm playing the long game and I'm winning. So like he is a tortoise disguised as a rabbit, if that makes sense. He's like very kind of go, but he's all about patience and he's all about self-awareness and really just being okay with who you are and where you're at in your journey. And that's something that, as someone who's like on social media, kind of putting yourself out there, there's things that there's different aspects of your personality that you probably are ashamed of, that you want to hide. And he's all about like, just be real, like just be yourself, put it out there and talk about how you're getting through that. If you don't like this aspect of your life, don't try to hide it from anybody, share it, but talk about how you're planning on like improving that aspect of your life or that aspect of your personality. And for me, like as a leader, I always felt like I had to be this I had to be perfect all the time. I had to be motivational all the time. I had to be inspiring all the time. And I think because I tried to put that off, I think my coaches thought that's just how I was. And I finally I was like, I wanted to be real with them. And I told them, like, I don't feel motivated every day. I don't feel inspired every day. I know that the days that I'm not inspired, I'm not gonna be as efficient with my workouts or with my business, but I'm just gonna do my best that day. And my best is gonna differ day to day based on how motivated and inspiring I feel. So I think, sharing, just being real with your coaches on that level, I think they start to see you less as like this person on a pedestal or someone that, is able to achieve these things that they never can. When you start to share some of those struggles, those doubts, you start to kind of bridge that gap a little bit and you let people in a little bit more. So, and that's probably like the thing that is my biggest struggle right now. So it's when you ask me like, what books am I reaching for? It's kind of funny. It's been a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk stuff because that's what he's really all about, is that self-awareness, being real and authentic, and all that good stuff. So I'm really loving that.
And he's our guest speaker for Summit, correct?
Yeah. He spoke. So we had a men's Beachbody event back in May that I got to speak at, and Gary spoke at, and he was awesome. So I'm pumped. I think he had a very different idea of what network marketing was, and then he came to this event and he got to really see what Beachbody coaching is all about, and the kind of men that we are, and the kind of hearts we have, and what our intent is. And I think by the end of that event, he really saw, he had a very different idea of what he thought network marketing was. And so I think his speech at Summit is going to be very cool. It's going to be interesting to see like how he kind of plays that in to his speech. I'm excited for it. He's great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Excited. I know a lot of our coaches follow his stuff, so we're super, super pumped. Do you have some questions for Patrick that you want to ask? Because I think the analogies that he gave is something we all struggle with.
Yeah.
And even the being, as you guys get brave enough to ask questions, I'm going to say even being real on your Facebook page with your own journey is super important. It's so funny because I had a girl message me and she said, I love when you're doing makeup videos and your kids interrupt you. That makes you, I feel like I can relate to you. Like that makes you so real. And I'm like, but I hate when they interrupt me because I'm trying to tell you how I'm doing my eyeshadow. Right. But she's like, but you're a mom and it like you're real. And it makes me realize that if you can do it and you've got the crazy chaos going on, then I can do it. But if you're always perfect and quiet and hair's always done with the kids never around, then it doesn't make sense to me. So even with your challengers, you have to be that vulnerable self.
Yeah.
And same with your coaches, which I think I don't share enough with you guys, the craziness that happens behind the scenes and what I do and what I struggle with. There are days when I'm with Josh and I'm like, I'm done. Like I quit. Like I'm calling Beachbody, cancel my account. I am done. And he's like, you know what? Check out your mind. Just check out. Check out for a day, an hour, whatever you need to do. And as soon as I check out, I do, no. I gotta message my team. I gotta get back on. I can't check out because I'm passionate about this. I love it. And letting that overwhelming feeling take me over for a minute and then just releasing it, being like, I'm done. I quit. Don't message me. I'm turning off my phone.
Yeah.
And then I find myself going, wait a minute, I can't turn off my phone because I want to know how Dina is doing. Is she getting close to diamond? I want to know how Nicole's doing. Is she signing up a new challenger? I want to know how Afton's doing. Is she growing her business? Like, I'm passionate about those things. I can't turn them off because I love them. I inherently love them. But I just struggle with that. And I don't think I share that with you guys enough. So I probably should.
It's good to know, like, you don't have to be on your A game every day to be successful with this business. None of the successful coaches are. They have crappy days and they have good days. I think the thing that separates the successful coaches from the ones that aren't there yet isn't that they're doing things differently. I think that every coach does those little things every day on the days they feel like it, when they're on their A game. And the successful coaches do those things when they're not on their A game, when they don't feel like doing it. And maybe it's not as great as it would have been if they were super motivated, but they just do those things anyway. You know, like they still show up, they still do their workout, they're still connecting with their 5 new people each day, and they just do it. You know, it's not successful coaches do daily what others do occasionally. It just really kind of comes down to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then just being, I think that's huge for as leaders. I don't know how many of you guys are like leading teams of your own, but you know, sharing that more, that's something that I really, really struggled with, was just being more real and honest rather than trying to think that I had to be this motivational person 24/7, 365, you know? And it's a weight lifted trying to like pretend to be something you're not some days, when you can just be yourself, be authentic, be real, share what's on your mind, you know? And then it takes the pressure off these other coaches. They start to realize what success really is, because to them, they think success is this thing where you have to be someone who's motivated 100% of the time, on your A game 100% of the time. Whereas if you let them in a little bit more, they can see, oh, you can be a little bit off some days and still be successful with this. Okay, maybe I do have what it takes to be successful.
Yeah. Somebody posted a question, said, can we go deeper into how do you develop leaders? What do you have them do, and how do you create great leaders?
Okay, so the foundation of my business are my challenge groups. The experience that I give my challengers in my challenge groups is really the foundation. I really kind of do something a little bit similar to what you guys do, make it really fun. Like my participation rate is always really, really high. I think that when I'm talking to people, I'm talking to prospects about my challenge groups, they can tell that I don't care about Success Club points. They can tell that I don't care about the $50 commission or whatever it is. My job is not to sell a challenge pack. My job is to get them into the group and help them achieve whatever their deep goal was that we dug for. So I think when I'm having those conversations with my prospects, they can tell what my real intent is. And because my intent is to give them an amazing experience in my challenge groups and then help them create a long-term healthy lifestyle, they're so much more willing to join my challenge groups. So because I love the experience I give people in challenge groups, I get more people that want to join my challenge groups. So Success Club becomes a lot easier because of that, because they can tell what my intent is, not to sell a challenge pack. And then in the challenge group, once they're in there, the better the experience I'm giving them, the more I'm connecting with them, the more likely they're going to want to give that to other people. And when they do want to give that to other people and become a coach, they make such a better coach because they give that same experience I gave them to their people. And so when you ask me, how do I develop leaders? I really do believe it starts with, what kind of experience are you giving your challengers in your challenge group? The better the experience they have, the more they fall in love with the products, the more they fall in love with what we do as coaches in those accountability groups, the higher likelihood they're going to fall in love with this and become a great coach. And they're going to be excited about this. So I think it really does start there. And then, once we've kind of they've got to the point where now they're a coach, I'm going to talk to them just like I talked to you guys about what the correct mindset is for this thing, that long-term mindset, escalator mindset. And then I'm going to go into like, okay, now how to share on social media, how to connect with new people each day, which I think is one thing that a lot of coaches overlook. They're not connecting with new people every single day. You got to be adding new people to your network every day. That's a must, right? So I'm teaching them how to do that. Then I'm teaching them how to invite, how to get comfortable with inviting. I think for that, it's just like, if you're afraid to invite somebody, you're in your head. You're in your head and you're worried about yourself and you're worried about how you're coming off to people. And anytime I feel nervous to get on a call like this or nervous to send an invite to someone, I go, you're doing it again. You're in your head. You're worried about yourself. You're worried about how you're coming off to others. Shift and come from your heart and focus on how you can help other people. And immediately, like, that fear and that anxiety just goes away. And I can reach out to that person and focus on how I'm helping them rather than how am I looking to this person? How do I come off to this person? You know what I mean? Yeah. So once I get them through the challenge group, give them a great experience, then kind of teach them some of these skills. Then, like, I'll check in with them from time to time and I ask them 3 questions every time I talk to them. Number 1, we go over their why again, because I know what their why is, but I want them to read it out loud, because my why is on my mind all the time. Whereas a lot of coaches, the only time they think about their why is when someone asks them what it is, and then they just say something that sounds cool, but they don't really have any connection to it. So I have them read that why list. I ask them if anything's changed, if there's anything they want to add to it, take off, change it in any way. So that's fresh in their mind. And then the second question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, where is your belief that it is inevitable that you're going to find and develop those 2 or 3 leaders that just get it, that want to do this with you, that want to build a team, that tribe, your 2 or 3 people that are your leaders in your tribe? On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your belief that that's inevitable? That as long as you stay on this escalator for a year or 2 even, it's inevitable you're going to find those 2 or 3 people. When I got on that escalator for the very last time, I told myself I was going to stay on it for 5 years. I was like, I don't care if it takes me 5 years to find my 2 or 3 really good leaders, my tribe that get it, that want to be leaders, that want to do this with me. Because if it takes 5 years, then I have another 50 years to enjoy the freedom. But that's the second question. So first question, what's your why? Second question, on a scale of 1 to 10, where is your belief that it's inevitable you're going to find and develop those 2 or 3 leaders? Because we know that's what the big picture is with this business, developing leaders, right? So then the third question is, if it's not an 8 or above, the third question is, what's holding you back from making that a 10 or at least an 8 or a 9? And I tell them, this is like not a judge-free zone. This is a safe zone. This isn't a quiz. Honestly, like, what's holding you back from really believing and knowing that it's inevitable that if you stay with this long enough and you stay consistent long enough, it's inevitable you're going to find those 2 or 3 leaders, those 2 or 3 rock stars that really just get it. And then as soon as they like verbalize whatever that biggest doubt is, that biggest obstacle, that biggest fear, as soon as they verbalize it, it loses a little bit of power right away. And then we can kind of talk through some of those and help them get comfortable with it. So that's one of the things I do with my coaches to kind of help them develop into a leader. Because I need them to get comfortable with that, having a strong why and a really strong belief to help them become a better leader. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
The other thing I'll do is so I have kind of 5 skills that I teach my coaches. Once we nail home that long-term escalator mindset, then it's like, okay, number 1, like getting comfortable with your own journey and sharing that on social media. Number 2, adding new people to your network each day, starting new relationships. Number 3, inviting to your challenge groups. Number 4, giving your challengers an amazing experience. And number 5, introducing your challengers to the coaching opportunity, the ones that you would want to work with, quality over quantity, right? So those are the 5 things: sharing on social media, adding new people to your network, inviting to your challenge groups, giving a great experience in your challenge groups, and then introducing some of your challengers to coaching. And I'll sit down with my coaches. This is me trying to help them develop into leaders. I'll sit down with these coaches, and sometimes they'll say, I really don't know if I'm ready to coach another coach. Like, I don't know if I'm ready to be a leader of another coach because I'm still trying to figure it all out myself. And I sit them down and I say, okay, here's the 5 things. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with this first one? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with sharing your journey on social media? Number 2, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 being comfortable with adding new people to your network every day? Number 3, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable you are with inviting people to your sneak peek group or your challenge group? Number 4, how comfortable are you with that experience you're giving your challengers? And number 5, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with that introducing some of your challengers to coaching? And if they're not at like an 8 in any of those categories, like I'll work with them to get them to at least an 8 in all 5 of those categories, in all 5 of those skills. And then it's like, okay, once they've gotten to an 8 or a 10 in all 5 of those, I look at them and I go, you feel comfortable and confident with these 5 things, right? And they're like, yeah. And I go, all you have to do is just share how you do these 5 things with your coaches. That's it. Stop looking around and thinking that you don't know what you need to know and you don't know what this thing over here is and that thing over there is. If you're comfortable and confident with these little 5 skills and you have that long-term escalator mindset, just share how you do these 5 skills with your people. That's all you have to do. Stop looking around, and it's not any more than that. And I try to keep it that simple for them. And that really, I think, helps them see that, okay, I really do know these main skills. I feel comfortable with these. I have the right mindset. I know it's about being on this thing for a year. I know what I need to be doing each day with these 5 skills. Okay, I can share these with other people. I do have what it takes to be a leader, because all I got to do is just share these things that I'm already pretty confident with my coaches. And then it kind of lessens the tension or this anxiety about, I don't know how to coach people, and they start to develop into a more confident leader. So those are just kind of a few of the things I do.
Awesome. 2 questions that were in the chat were basically, what are your ideas and fun things that you do in your challenge group to keep people engaged?
Okay, so I do a thing where, every day there's a photo and it asks, like, what was your workout today? And so, like, Monday, day 1, what was your workout today? Everyone comments with their workout. And then my assistant will track to see who commented on that on Monday. And then on Tuesday morning, he'll post a recognition photo with everyone's name and a number next to their name with the number 1 if they did their workout. And then on the next day, he'll post Tuesday, what was your workout today? So then the following day, it'll say everyone's name and then a 2 next to your name if you've commented on the Monday and Tuesday thread with your workout. It's amazing how much more consistent my challenges have become ever since we added just putting a number next to their name every day. No one wants that number to drop. So by the end of the challenge, like a 21-day challenge, everyone has a 21 next to their name because they're going into the group and they're commenting with their workout every day. And the cool thing about that is when they go into the group to comment, they see what other things are going on. They comment on each other's posts and encourage and everything. That little number thing is great for making them stay consistent with their workouts, but also it gets them in the group. So then they interact with some of the other stuff that's going on, which is great. Another thing I do and keep track of is, you guys know Darren Hardy wrote The Compound Effect. Any of you guys get the Darren Dailies texted to you? Mm-hmm. So Darren Daily has these daily motivational videos that he texts or emails to people that are on his subscription list. You can get them for free at darrendaily.com. So I get those sent to me each day, and my assistant will post the new video each day in the challenge group. And it'll just say, comment below with your top takeaway, after you watch this 2 or 3 minute video. And then everyone comments with their top takeaway. And I can kind of read through them and be like, oh, this person, that's a great comment. Oh, and then the person would probably make a good coach, and I just kind of go through there, and he keeps track of that too. So like on that recognition photo that has the number next to your name for how many times you worked out, there's also another column that says how many times you commented with your top takeaway from the Darren Daily. So by the end of 21 days, if someone has a 21 because they did all 21 workouts and a 21 because they did all 21 Darren Dailies, those are my people that make the best coaches, because they're getting the fitness, they're getting the nutrition, they're getting the support, they're encouraging the other people in the group, and they're getting personal development already in the group. And then I'm going to start incorporating some of the things that you guys do with, making them make some collages and post on their wall. I think that's a great idea. I also think such an awesome idea. I don't know if you guys all do this, but I'm going to start doing it, is a Zoom call with your challengers. And so they can see you, not live, but basically live, see your expression, your passion for what you're doing, rather than just throwing them all in a group and they can only see your pictures and maybe watch a video you uploaded. I think those Zoom calls live time are huge. I think that's such a great idea. But yeah, I'll also ask little questions in the group, like if you could be a movie star, if you could be an actor from any movie, who would it be and why? And that kind of gets them out of their comfort zone a little bit. The week before the challenge starts in my prep week, 2 things I'm making sure happen. And I send voice texts to all my challengers. I get their cell phone number. The first thing is I make sure they are getting out of their comfort zone and interacting with each other. I say something like, hey, I just want to make sure you know that the coaches or the challengers that get out of their comfort zone, send each other friend requests, and encourage each other are the ones that have the best results in the group. They're the ones that have the most fun and the best results physically as well. So get out of your comfort zone, send each other friend requests, and when you see them posting, comment and reply to their comments, and just get to know each other and encourage each other a little bit more. The more you encourage, the more fun you're going to have, the better the results. The second thing is I'm making sure that they are going through their booklet and figuring out how many containers they have to have each day and hanging up their calendar on the wall so they know what workout to do each day and asking all their questions and doing their meal prep. So when day one starts, we've had that prep week so that when day one starts, they're pretty comfortable with each other because they've been answering these like funky questions and getting to know each other and friend requesting each other and encouraging each other. They've already figured out how many containers they need. They did their meal prep. They got their calendar hung up. They know what workouts they're doing every day. So when day one starts, like they're pumped up, they're excited, they're hitting the road running. So that's kind of another little thing I do in my challenge groups that's been really helpful.
Sorry, I was unmuting my line. So that answers Kelsey and somebody else, Carla's question. You guys have any more questions? It's 9:55. Any last one, Nicole?
I do. Do you do any free challenges? And if you do, how long are they, like in days? And what is it that you tend to do if you do a free challenge? Is it a clean eating? Or do you do a fitness? Or do you do a combination of the two? Maybe to get some interaction from people who may not join a challenge group if they have to purchase something right away.
Right, yeah. Freemium. I give them a freemium, which means it's like free, but it's premium content. So yeah, I do, 5-day free challenges, like a 5-day free plank challenge where I'll start like an event page and invite a bunch of people to join it. And so for 5 days, I did 5 minutes of planking each day. And so like day one on Monday, I did 5 minutes of planking, and for every minute I did a different kind of plank, So like I did a normal plank the first minute, then I did like a side plank, and then I did some other weird plank. There's like so many different planks you can do. It's crazy. I just Googled it. So it was like 5 different planks for a minute each. I posted the video in the group, and I just said, okay, comment below once you've, followed along with the video and did the 5-minute plank yourself. And I had a ton of people that commented. And then I did the same thing the second day with 5 different plank holds, and then the third and the fourth and the fifth. And it was funny. And in the event page, I said, wow, like we're up to X amount of people in the event that are going to be doing this with us. Make sure you invite your friends so we can get more people. And I'll give out like some free prizes at the end to the people that like stick with it the whole time. And actually have like signed up, sold some challenge packs and signed up some coaches that were just friends of friends that joined the event because their friend was in the event and they saw their friend was in the event, So, yeah, those 5-day free challenges are great. So I did a plank one. I did just like a core, just a regular core one. I've done a 5-day free eating challenge. I haven't done one of those in a while. But yeah, I think those things are great because then I think it allows you to connect with a lot more people, especially if you do an event style. Because then you tell the people that accepted your invite to also they can now invite people to the event. So you get more of a reach, and then also they get to know you more, and you give them that premium content for free. So then they're ready to upgrade for like that next level of a challenge group.
Yep, I love free events when I can have the energy and time to do them. They always benefit.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've met some of the people in this call just from being a part of a free event. So yeah. Awesome. Well, it is getting late here on the East Coast. I don't know where Patrick, or where are you at? Where are you looking?
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. I'm in South Florida in Delray Beach.
Okay. I think we have some Floridians on this call, but we will let you go. It's late. I am rushing to save my 10-star on week 4, qualifying for third quarter bonus. So
good luck.
Yeah, y'all, I'm up late at night sometimes fighting for my rank as well. So don't just think I'm like, yeah, 10-star. I'm just going to float around and be 10-star. No. Every morning, Nicola messaged me and she says, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so is going to go inactive. This is what you need to work on. And like, that's my goal for the week outside of continuing to grow my challenge groups and build my relationships. I know exactly pinpoint what I need to be working on throughout the week. Because every single week I wake up on Thursday morning and I'm like a 6-star diamond because I have to start helping people and fixing things and knowing people only have 20 PV and they need 50 PV to be active. So it's a constant effort for me as well. Every night, and Wednesday nights I'm usually up till 1 a.m, and that's okay because I love this business and it has given so much financial freedom to my family, and I'm able to be a part of y'all's lives, which is awesome. So anyways, I love y'all. I'm excited about Summit. Nicola, are you still on?
I am.
What is next week's call? Are we off this next week?
We're not doing a call.
Yes. Okay. So we're all going to be in Nashville.
We'll be in Nashville.
If there's anybody that wants to step up and they have something passionate they want to speak on, you're welcome to lead at the Empire call. But the rest of us are going to take a little time off and really focus on each other and building our businesses. So thank you so much, Patrick. You are amazing. You spoke into our lives, and I'm super pumped. I think that the team really took away a lot of gold nuggets on that one. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's go rock the Team Cup. August, everybody's got their team in place.
Yeah.
Epic Empire is notorious for doing amazing in the Team Cup. So
we need
at least one team in the top 10, okay? All right. We love you guys. Have a great night.
All right. I'll see you guys on the escalator.